The following podcast contains real reviews and the ridiculous reactions of two would-be oracles of the internet. The opinions expressed and presented are mere musings, so please humor their hijinks with a laugh and not by taking anything they say seriously. Seriously.
Hello and welcome to ReviewParty.com. I'm Brent.
I'm Matt.
And this week, like every week, we got a podcast for you. It's on the internet. It's about internet reviews from places like Amazon, Google Reviews, Google Maps, Yelp, TripAdvisor.
Mm-hmm. Good call.
Thank you.
Go there more often.
Yeah, I think so too. The TripAdvisor is a website I legitimately use for reviews. I'd rarely go there to find funny ones. But I don't know. This week we got some funny reviews. We talk about them. That's sort of the show. Am I forgetting anything?
That's it. You're gonna laugh. You're gonna laugh and cry tears of joy.
You're gonna wail. You're gonna. They're gonna your roommate's gonna knock on the door and what be like, can you turn the whale relaxation CD down, please? Sorry, I'm just in a state of wailing. You'll have to say of screeching.
I'm just bawling my eyes out. I'm sorry.
Ballin'! Do you have a review?
I do. I've got a couple of reviews for International 1 gallon USA 128-1 muriatic placement acid, 128 fluid ounces. This is from Amazon.com. It's a big old gallon jug. It says acid magic on it. The user-friendly muriatic acid.
Maybe the review will help us, but do you know the health benefits of this off the top of your head?
This is more like a cleaning product.
Okay.
Like I know my dad's used muriatic acid. Like, oh, we got the guys who did the brickwork left a little bit of the spackle that leaked out from between the bricks, and now it's on the brick face. And you don't want messy brick face. You want that to look clean. So get some muriatic acid and just scrub it on there. Yeah. This
is acid to eliminate things.
Acid to clean. Mm-hmm. Quote, this revolutionary muriatic acid product has all the cleaning, etching, and pH reduction properties of powerful acids, but with 90% less fumes.
I'm in.
Here's a review from Scott Daggle. Scott titles his review, Toilets That Caused a Fright Turned Perfectly White. And Scott writes, I should have taken before and after pictures, but the before pictures would have been just plain gross. Both of our toilets had taken on ubiquitous brown and black crusty stains because of our hard well water. Any visitor to our house might believe that we're not in the habit of flushing our toilets. Scrubbing and scouring had no effect whatsoever, so it was just plain embarrassing to have guests at our home. I remembered something from school that iron becomes aqueous in an acid environment, but the thought of dumping acid into our septic system seemed dubious. I did a little poking around in Amazon and discovered this product, which states that it will not harm septic systems. I took a chance and bought a gallon of this product. I sloshed a bit into both of our toilets, and after waiting about 10 minutes or so, I scrubbed each of them with a toilet brush and was surprised to see the brown and black stains disappearing. With just a little bit of elbow grease, both toilets were restored to a like-new appearance. If you have a toilet that is stained by hard water, buy this product. It works like magic. 5 stars.
Blame the well water. That's a classic. That's a classic.
Right?
Listen, my toilet, I absolutely could not show you what it looked like. It's not fit for human eyes. I couldn't even think to take a picture. My camera would explode because of the well water.
Yeah, because the hard well water, you know. Right?
You see, there's a Japanese girl from the 1940s that's been, decaying in my well for years. She's trying to climb out of TVs and shit, but she's just really, it's making, there's a slime that
she's just sort of an oopy goopy mess, and no.
Listen, she's the spirit of vengeance and hatred incarnate, and we just, you can't just clean that out the bowl. That really seeps into everything, but this acid.
Yeah, luckily I remembered chemistry class. What's the one thing to exercise a goopy spirit? A little bit of muriatic acid.
You got goopy ghouls in your toilet? You spray the acid, attack them. Show no mercy.
Is poison strong against ghost type? Hang on. I don't feel like it is.
I don't think so. It's intrinsically tied to ghost type because Haunter and Gengar are ghost types. And they were the only ones for a minute. But no, this isn't natural acid from Ekans using some of its PP for an acid attack. PowerPoints. I think that's what it stands for.
Yeah.
Yeah, but this is man-made hell acid. That will definitely fuck a ghost up. All our acid is blessed by a rabbi. Kosher, guaranteed. I was just gonna say, well, water does leave little streakies, right?
It can, yeah. You can get some like rust stains,
but they're definitely like uniform. You can tell a well water stain from like
able to identify what's going on if you've got hard water, well water. There's iron in your water. It's
going to leave uniform streaks that you're like shart blasting is just, the well water streaks are sort of postmodern where
ubiquitous brown and black crusty stains.
That's turds.
Yeah, that's like you've discovered a dilapidated house. You're one of those, like, what are they called? The decrepit adventurers who just go in Chernobyl type places and they're like, yeah, look where I'm going. I'm spelunking through a church that's half fallen down. Hey, check out this toilet. Think that was hard water? Oh, the police. Oh, we gotta get out of here.
Yeah, there's environmental storytelling going on. There's a skeleton in on a throne at the end of the dungeon here that is doing nothing more than sitting there, but it all points to nasty doo-doos. And it's okay. It's okay to doo-doo nasty style.
Sometimes you gotta just splatter the bowl.
Sometimes you don't see the crusty on there for 6.5 years. And
sometimes it takes a while for the smell to just bore new life of itself.
At what point do you get a new toilet? That's what their question I ask myself.
Yeah. Rather than just like dunking it Terminator style into a vat of acid or lava to try and clean your gross stains. Maybe you just get a new throne.
Yeah, I know it's my own personal anxiety, but you never can really clean something. You can clean everything, but some things just imprint themselves on the object forever. And nasty poops is one of them. That's why you got the toilet seat to separate it from the poop zone, because you know. Not salvageable, but
that 3/4 of inches it protects you.
Do you want to go towards the wholesome, or you want to go deeper down the well here?
Let's go wholesome.
Sure, I have a movie review from letterboxd.com. It is for Good Burger, 1997. Yes. Starring our boys Kel Mitchell and Kenan Thompson. Nickelodeon movie classic. When you got the VHS tape, you know it was orange.
Oh, yeah.
This review is by Patrick Pryor. They watched it. This is a pre-pandemic review, which probably explains its whimsy and joy.
Okay.
April 2019, they watched it. Anyway, they write, super inclusive, prime, weirdo, Nickelodeon comedy that feels like both a joyous throwback to 80s teen romps and a future forward with a diverse cast from age to color to shape. Even a few cutting jokes still ring true. Sinbad says, I'd hate to put another black man in jail, to Keenan after a car crash. And then Keenan mentions his absent dad in a burger joint rooftop heart-to-heart with Kel. Dang, this movie can cut deep between the mugging and silly wordplay. Still, on a lighter note, thank you, Good Burger, for the following Cine Wonders. Reminding the world that Karma Electra was a thing. Wisely saving the one kid's movie curse for a game Abe Vigoda, I Broke My Ass. An impressive earth-shaking George Clinton cameo that I vividly remember Kel raving about in a behind-the-scenes document. Or in the behind-the-scenes doc. What an honor it was to work with George. Revealing a time when bucket hats were stylish enough to wear on a mini golf date. Sparking weird elementary school crush flashbacks of mental ward Linda Sardellini. Even Prozac's prescribed kickball recess whack me felt some representation on screen. Convincing me this movie will never age. After 20 years, Good Burger still feels fresher and more alive than most kiddie yawns. I kind of miss when the wilderness of cable television gave whack creatives room to stretch their legs in the unsupervised no man's lands of cartoons and tween sitcoms. Make Snick great again, please. 5 stars.
That is too true, man. That the days of cable television where you could just discover entire worlds, entire creative minds that were just let loose because they had a channel.
Yeah, give the weirdos some budget again, man. They ain't making TV unless it's an HBO like 10-part hour and a half every week. Super serious. This is entertainment.
Yeah. People are going to talk about this.
Right.
Okay.
No one was on Good Burger like, man, they're gonna remember this one for years and years. Are you ready? Are you ready for your Oscar, Kel Mitchell? No. Everyone went to work having a blast because they couldn't believe they were making this insane movie, I imagine.
Yeah.
The prop people get to make giant exploding burgers.
God, those Mondo burgers.
The Mondo burgers, dude. I watched, far more recently, every episode of Game of Thrones, many of them multiple times. No imagery is absolutely branded into my frontal cortex from Game of Thrones. Not even close, like the Mondo burger scene from Good Burger, where they sneak in the factory. Not even a factory, it's just the basement of a fast food restaurant, and they're like manufacturing these like scientific horror, like The Fly looking burgers that they're serving people. What a movie.
Yeah, the viscera is so much more real than anything in Game of Thrones.
Yeah. Yeah, sure, they got dragons, they got CGI, they got all the best actors, they got people with a real British accent.
Do they have bucket hats, though?
They don't got anyone wearing a bucket hat on a mini golf date.
Bucket hats.
Oh, absolutely. And I don't remember that scene, but I can just imagine the colors of it, and it just is so beautiful to me.
Keenan on a date, teenage Keenan on a date with Carmen Electra, because that's normal.
A lot of bad. I guess this is hopefully pre-bad Nickelodeon era. Not bad as in quality, but bad as in scary to work at if you're a child.
This might have been right around where it started getting bad.
Where it started getting weird. So hopefully this was the last bastion of normal. You could be weird at Nickelodeon without it being, kind of weird.
Yeah.
So yeah, Pop, Carmen Electra, and I think it's they did say like it's like a more wholesome sort of teen comedy romp. There's a lot of like, dude, where's my car type DNA in this movie.
Yeah, for sure.
But less like drugs and sex jokes. But you still get like Carmen Electra hanging out with bucket hat.
Carmen Electra playing a dang spy for Mondo Burger, trying to woo Keenan into letting something slide. Maybe it was Cal. I don't know which one she was going out with, but she got hit with the mini golf ball in the head, and now she's not so pretty.
It just feels like every choice in the script was like, what would be so funny right here? Like, there's no further meaning than that. Like, we got these two boys. They're funny. We got some funny people. Let's just put Carmen Electra on the mini golf course.
We got old man Vigoda, and we're gonna make like children afraid that he's gonna die when the Mondos come to steal the secret sauce or whatever. Oh,
I gotta rewatch this shit, man.
Yeah.
Oh man,
there's a lot going on.
Holy. All right, I think we're gonna take an early break here and go watch some Good Burger. We're just gonna watch the whole thing.
Hey everybody, thank you for listening to our lovely little podcast. If you'd like to go above and beyond in supporting our show, or have the most fabulous conversation starter since sliced bread, go to reviewparty.com. Click on shop and explore some fabulous t-shirt designs.
Where's your favorite place to wear a t-shirt?
On my body.
Mine is at the store.
That is a good place to wear a t-shirt. Reviewparty.com. Click shop.
Why stop there?
Don't stop now.
Don't stop me now, because I'm buying a t-shirt. I'm buying a shirt. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the segment. I think we had a name for this type of segment, and I think it came from the internet. It's just a generic. I found something funny on the internet, and we're gonna talk. Someone else did some funny work on the internet, and we're gonna tell you about it, and
cool.
Maybe add some funny to the conversation. To start this one out, it's not the title of this article we're talking about, but it is a sort of a meme image that spiritually encapsulates the entire article. I'm not going to send Matt the image. I'm just sending the caption, and I want to know what this evokes within you. So I'm sending Matt the title now. If you could read it for us.
What's up with all these putty-looking ass whips?
What's up with all these putty-looking ass whips, man? What do you think a putty-looking ass whip could be?
See, if it was just putty-looking ass, then it would be like droopy, saggy butts. Mm-hmm. But since whips is there, I'm thinking of cars, and putty-looking, I'm thinking obviously David Puddy from Seinfeld, who worked at a car dealership, but I don't recall like if he had an iconic car. He's got an iconic jacket, he's got iconic face paint, he's got iconic fast food proclivities. Did he have a car?
What if I told you, and hopefully this will spark the neurons in your mind, what if I was told you it was talking about the paint job on the cars. The color.
The color.
Yes. And
interesting.
I immediately could picture what they were talking about, but here, let me send you the whole image, and maybe that you'll understand.
Oh. Okay. Yeah, we've got various earthy tones that are just sort of matte and muted, and like putty, like lots of putty type. Like you get the putty in an egg, that eggshell putty, and you just mush it, and that's what these cars are colored like, particularly those greens, those soft pale greens.
Yeah, it's just like modern. I don't know when exactly it started, but it's these colors of these cars that are just, muted, earth tone, don't stick out. It's got that sort of clay, not shiny effect.
Yeah, not shiny, very dull in saturation and hue. Like if you painted your household walls these colors, that would be fine. That would be good. But your car, baby, that thing's outside in the sunshine. Let it sparkle.
We grew up in a time, and maybe the time, of cars looking the opposite of this when they were cool.
You get a metallic shimmer? Oh my goodness.
Yeah, what do you know about a sports car in banana yellow, dude? That Laffy Taffy yellow.
Yeah, if we're going to go on flat colors, then give me that yellow.
Yellow, blue,
there's
red.
Nothing else.
Yep. Nice shiny red Camaro or something.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah. But we are talking about this article by blackbirdspyplane.com. It is a 100% reader-supported blog. They do lots of funny articles like this. But yeah, they're talking about why all these cars, these paint jobs, are so boring looking, I guess. What's up with all these putty-ass looking whips? Okay, Blackbird Spyplane is a well-established as the number one source for unbeatable musings on visual culture in all forms. And while we tend to focus on mad cool developments in clothes and home johns, sometimes our critical gaze dilates to include perplexing developments in cars. Case in point, last summer we met with our friends for a hike, and they rolled up with their new whip, a VW whose gray paint job seemed somehow to be matte and glossy at the same time. The effect was sneaky but striking. The VW looked more uniformly smooth, and as a result, more visually dense than your typical car. Sort of like if it was formed out of wet putty. Paradoxically, the paint job was so muted that it drew our attention way more than any of the other regs painted cars at the trailhead. Have you clocked these shits? In the last year, wet putty whips have gone from bubbling to ubiquitous, to the point where we can't leave Spyplane HQ without clocking Nissan Kicks, Honda CRVs, Dodge Challengers, Toyota Civics, Chevy Volts, Hyundai Elantras, Polestar 2s, Jeep Somethings, Mini Coopers, Volvo trucks, Subaru wagons, and cursed Amazon they put the asterisks in it, delivery trucks, all with this same kind of smooth-hued paint job. These colors tend to be straight-up grays, greens, or blues, and even oranges that have been dulled over with gray shades, then given a glossy top coat. It's an effect that announces itself more prominently IRL than in photos, but these will give you an idea. That's the meme.
Yeah. And I don't know. All I can point to is like somebody at these car companies got on Pinterest and they saw all these interior design type boards of, oh wow, look at my new kitchen with the touch of the green, the olive green wall, and they're like, oh, these idiots are gonna buy cars if we paint them that color. And they went to Lowe's and they started painting all their cars ugly green and then putting the shiny top coat on it. I agree, that's such a distortion of your expectations, and I don't like it. It's trying to look clean and classic, but no, it's just strange.
They did ask their friend Hannah Elliott about this wet putty wave, and she had this wisdom to say. So chalk is super famous and a popular paint color for Porsche. It started with pearl gray and Huron gray in the 1950s and 60s, and then maybe like 5 years ago or so, Porsche brought back the color for its modern 911, and they called it chalk. That's the gray putty color I think you're describing. It may have been a debut color for Panamera as early 2017. I'd have to check that. But anyway, it's super ubiquitous among Porsche people. The main characteristic, she confirmed, that it lacks any sort of flake or metallic sheen. They talk about earlier in the article how older paint cars, they have metal flakes in the paint to make it look shinier.
Flecks and flakes, yeah.
Beauty. It lacks any sort of flake or metallic sheen as opposed to silver metallics and brown copper metallics and ice green metallics that define Porsche turbos of the 1970s. Sometimes it almost reminds me of a Parisian gray, but it often falls a bit flat and is closer to how you describe it, putty. My guess is that mass brands introduced their gray tones after Porsche brought it back, and it proved to be a popular color. Typically, the luxury marquees set the tone for design elements like this, which are emulated by others.
Ugh.
So we could blame Porsche and Porsche people for these ugly colors. I guess it's a classic.
This exact sort of conversation happens in The Devil Wears Prada, where What's her name? Oh my goodness. Played Catwoman in the Batman. Not the Batman, but Anne Hathaway. Anne Hathaway's character's like, I'm not into fashion, and Meryl Streep's like, girl, 10 years ago, such and such company designed this in that color, and it all trickled down to the same sweater you bought at TJ Maxx. So yes, even though you don't realize it, fashion affects you. And she's
Definitely.
like, oh my God. So Porsche with its highfalutin, stupid, dumb gray. Who wants shiny gray? Give me silver, my guy.
Yeah.
With a black stripe down the center.
I understand not wanting to stick out on the road for avoiding police and with how road rage is these days. You just want to be a speck on the roadside at best. But if I'm paying for a freaking Porsche, man, I'm not getting it butt wipe white. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I'm not like trying to look like I'm fitting in with the military base down the road, but
Right.
shinier. Yeah, give me that hunter green, but put a little shiny coat on top. What? No.
They titled the final section of the article, "But this shit goes way beyond whips." And they offer some more insight on why these putty colors with cars and extended could be so popular now. Aaron and I were trying to put our finger on why this anodyne trend irks us and even feels a bit cursed. And then it hit us. Beyond the automotive world, the boom in these wet putty cars is a part of a broader mainstreamification of gray-shaded consumer goods coloring heavily targeted at younger Gen X and older millennials. We're talking 2014 Dwell Historical Pictorias, Heath Samaric Johns, Kinto Thermoses, and a bunch of Technovorm Mocha Masters, Mepra Flatware, and popping PVC kicks from Crocs to Bottega Veneta puddle boots, etc. So yeah, it's anything we're getting capitalist marketed to our demographic, it's happening. They a decade or so signaled an affluent creative class, and spread outward like how basic Food 52 Target home goods section realm, and is now gone full mass market supernova, appearing on cars from all major fat manufacturers. Quote, "This isn't your mom's Camry. Subjecting bright colors to gray shaded dulling is ostensibly a concession to sophistication and restraint. In the context of wet putty whips and other contemporary consumer products, though, this strikes us as a hedged, half-stepping, and underhandedly infantilizing approach to color design. All the same, a way basically to sell millennials, quote, grown-up toys within a smokescreen of ersatz refinement. Or put it another way, just commit to a bright, beautiful, audacious color. No need to dampen it with these swag, depleting grays. Sick cars used to do this all the time. They talk about comparing some old, cool Porsche colors and when they would take away the shininess before. They have this beautiful yellow Porsche. It's perfection. It's a prime example of how a John that felt surprising and fresh in isolation upon first encounter can curdle into distaste once you realize it's just one node among many in a broader marketing trend of which you are the demographic target. Quote, I don't think I knew what my opinion on this look was before we got one, my friend said, but man, I fucking hate it now. So yeah, that's the putty looking ass whips, man.
Yeah, man, I don't even want to hear what these colors are named. That would just make me depressed. My car, I pulled up the old quote from when I bought my car. It looks like it probably, like, they ran out of characters for the entire color name, but I'm gonna guess it's Blue Crush Metallic.
Blue Crush.
Blue Crush. Ain't no putty. Could be described as crushing. Yeah, what do you want? Blue mush?
Blue mush, yeah. You know, they're all like the hoity-toity, like pseudo upper class colors too.
It's Aster or something like that, some garbage.
One paragraph I didn't read. There's that they believe one of the progenitors of this color coming back, Audi, in 2013, had a Nardo gray.
Nardo. I know, I've heard Nardo before. I'm sure it describes something that isn't nuts.
It's. All right, I'm defining Nardo. Oh, it's
Italy, Nardo.
Yeah, it's Italian for very masculine.
Well, Nards is pretty accurate then. Oh, God.
Oh, well. In Spain it means dick or penis.
Well, I'm going to blue crush your Nardo.
Yeah. I looked up what my car is. You're not going to believe how freaking cool mine is. Oh,
hit me with it.
Switchblade silver metallic.
Dude, nice. The only other vehicle that I know, the old family van, since sold, the Oldsmobile Silhouette, was, I believe, the infamous desert sand mica. That shiny, bright bronze tan. Like, if it didn't have the metallic flecks, it might fall in that putty realm. But
right.
It had the metallic sheen to it.
Yeah, I think of that color, that's like champagne.
Yes. Oh.
Which saves it from just being beige, which is what it would be if it was puttified. Okay. Well, I hope next time you're on the road, you notice how many putty-looking ass whips they are. Because it's something awful. I felt intrinsically, but it was finally put into words by Blackbird's biplane here.
Those dang Jeeps and the Ford Broncos and that butt gray.
Ford Broncos, man, they took like such a classic American institution and just uglified it, man. Yeah. Uglied it up and freaking made it twice as much to buy one. Ugh. Yeah, I gotta get some more auto industry articles because it is on fire right now. There's lots to talk about how shitty that's going on. But let's get a review instead.
All right, I got some Amazon reviews here for Dots Pretzels Honey Mustard Seasoned Pretzel Twist Snack, 16-ounce grocery-sized bag.
These bang.
Yeah, you've had the Dots?
I've had the Dots Twisted Pretzel. I believe they're from Pennsylvania, but they are at Shell gas stations as well as Woodman's. Shout out Woodman's.
Hey, let's go. Here's a review from CW titled Honey Mustard Flavor. They write, "We tried the cinnamon and honey mustard. Honey mustard was our favorite. It was not as flavorful as honey mustard flavored nuggets, but the honey mustard flavor was not overpowering, which is best for kids. My son raves about them, and they are his favorite pretzels. I should mention he hates anything remotely spicy and has never shown an interest in mustard." 5 stars.
Get this kid on the honey mustard pipeline early. Get a mainline in that shit. So he's just his neurons are completely rephrased.
Yeah. I thought that was sort of like a classic benchmark test of rearing and raising children. You need to test what their level of interest in mustard is.
Yeah, you got to set several condiments on the floor when they're a baby and see which one they are drawn to.
Yeah, he's at about 13 months right now. We're thinking it's about time to see if he's interested in mustard and what sort.
Yeah, we just don't want to sign him up for mustard class without, knowing that he'd be really into it.
What's right for him? Honey mustard? A little stone ground spicy mustard? I don't know.
A little, they got those summer mustard in the park classes. I just don't want him embarrassed while he's there.
And we don't want to force him into liking what we like. We're not that type of parent. That's not who we want to be.
Oh, honey, please, only 2 mustards in my coffee this morning. But what really this got me wondering is how much of an indicator of enjoying mustard is enjoying honey mustard.
Yeah.
I think because that's a Venn diagram there, and I think there's only some overlap. I'm sure there's lots of people that will mess up a honey mustard chicken wrap, but don't really like yellow mustard.
Yeah, the honey is certainly pulling its weight. Always.
Yeah, the ratio is not kind to the mustard lovers, I think. And it's a good... I like me a mustard, but you can't just have dry pretzel and mustard. This is Germany in 1870.
It is not. Thankfully. I got another review here. This one's from Joey NYC. Hey, Joey. Joey titles his review, "I will not join the Dots cult," and writes, "At the risk of Dots lovers protesting outside my house, I will not disparage them here. But if you are new to Dots, be advised that they are a lot denser than most generic pretzel twists, and seem to have a more generous dose of flavoring powder. This does not serve my own toothless needs. But I am glad I tried them so I can at least show the proper deference to those of you who worship on the snack altar of Dots. 5 stars.
Don't hate on a delicious, dense sourdough pretzel twist because you're gumming it up there, Joey.
You just gotta suck on it for a little while till it gets all mushy.
I would be.
You can nub that sucker to death.
If I didn't have teeth, I'd be sucking on pretzels all day, brother.
I mean, I have teeth, and sometimes I do.
Especially if they had more than average flavorful dust.
Right, yeah, you're not just going to get to plain bland pretzel mush right away. You're going to have that dust dancing around your mouth for a good while there.
Yeah, no amount of lack of teeth would stop me from enjoying flavorful dust. Joey, what are we going to do with you, man?
Looks like he also reviewed some Snyder's pretzels. He didn't like those either.
Yeah, Snyder's is thickums, boy. No way you can handle those when you're gumming it.
He gave those a 4-star, though. And so I'm good for him for not taking his own personal... This didn't work for me, so it's 1 star on a food product. Come on.
he's wild, man. You don't lose your feet in an accident and then start reviewing shoes.
These socks just totally didn't fit my non-feet.
That would be a funny hashtag viral review. These didn't fit at all, and just a picture of the sock next to his lack of foot.
That would be wild.
I have a review.
Yeah.
This one, it's got me feeling a type of way. I don't think I can leave it on the table. But it is for, get back to item details here, from Walmart.com. We got, and maybe Matt can correct me, I'm going to butcher this beautiful Spanish word, Cacique pork chorizo. 9 ounce refit. Yeah, Cacique.
Cacique.
Cacique, okay.
Cacique bras, cool. Let me check those out.
You gotta get a little Spain Spanish on that S with a little bit of the list. I see. Cacique pork chorizo, 9 ounce refrigerated. It's those little tubes of meat that you see by the quesadilla cheese. So there's lots of it's a classic 3.5 average rated product. Battle in the comments between 5s and 1s.
Okay.
People claiming that this isn't like any other, this doesn't cook right like their other chorizo, and then other people claiming that they're not cooking it right, that this is authentic chorizo and it's different cooking technique. Savannah weighs in here. She titles her review Traumatized.
Oh no.
She writes, my boyfriend brought this home so we could make chorizo and tacos. I was so excited. I put it into a frying pan to try and brown it up, but after 10 minutes of consistency staying as greasy mush, I decided to inspect the ingredients list. Usually chorizo will brown up like ground beef or regular sausage. This one doesn't. Upon further inspections, and after I had eaten a considerable amount in a quesadilla, I learned that this product is constituted of pork salivary glands, lymph nodes, and other abominable ingredients that I wish I never knew about. I spent the rest of the evening vomiting my socks up as I pictured a lot of drooling hogs with swollen and infected adenoids eating a steaming pile of garbage, and ended up throwing out the pots and pans I used to cook this with.
What?
Because I can't stand to even look at the residue of this stuff. I am now a vegetarian 1 star.
Oh, okay. I feel like at least that last line is a bit of hyperbole. But don't you know what they say about how the sausage is made? Something tells me you only checked that ingredients list because you felt like something was wrong. But if you were to check any other chorizo or sausage ingredients list, you're going to find all sorts of stuff you wish you never knew.
What's Savannah going to be doing this 4th of July? I know she's going to be enjoying a hot dog from Oscar Mayer.
Don't check the ingredients.
Yeah, up until like the 70s, there was like, there's like an okay amount of rat shit to have in hot dogs. You keep it under 1%, you're good. Meaning that there was rat shit in hot dogs. And what I know about eating is you don't want to eat that, but you could eat a part of a tongue.
Yeah. Or any other part of the animal.
Pretty much. A little butthole never hurt anybody.
Hey, if it's got good protein, that's all a lot of people care about these days.
Collagen. You gotta collagen up. That's how you get that supple skin, Savannah.
Yeah. You ever seen a wrinkle on a pig's tongue?
You're looking awful gaunt. What do you think of picturing the drooling hogs.
That's vile and hilarious.
It's so funny. Just imagine eating a steak and picturing, like, just in your mind's eye, rotating a sick cow.
Yeah, like, I know if I'll find, like, a hair or something in my food, I've gotten better about it, but sometimes I still get grossed out and will not, I'm not eating as avidly as I was before finding it. But, yeah, I'm certainly not, like, struck with visions of horror about the person who slopped the stables out and rolled around in it and put their fingers in their mouth and twist their hair up. I'm not having horror fantasies making myself sick.
She's at the level, this is a gypsy curse. She threw a hot dog at some poor wandering witch and found her and was stricken. Anytime she would try to enjoy some tasty meat, she'd be stricken with visions of sick animals. These are like Scarecrow from Batman level visions she's having here.
It sounds graphic, yeah.
Right. Yeah, there's a eating, and they were eating a steaming pile of garbage.
Yeah. And pigs will eat whatever, but you don't need to think about that.
This is like a scene from Bloodborne for the PlayStation 4.
And hey, I know chorizo's greasy, but just like use a little extra Dawn dish soap and get the grease off your pans so that you don't have to throw them out.
Yeah, I cook with this chorizo almost every day. I have this for breakfast. And it's an easy clean, brother. I don't even feel like I need to get out the soap. Usually it's a quick rinse and it's off.
Maybe if you want to let them soak, let them soak.
Mm-hmm.
But hey, don't throw out your entire kitchen.
It's crazy.
I remodeled my entire kitchen to rid the scent of this bile pig slop.
Man, you think she eats at Taco Bell and stuff too?
Well, if she does, she better reconsider.
Yeah, you're just setting yourself up for hypocrisy, like, with this take. I feel like you can't live in the world. There's so much cognitive dissonance happening. But speaking of cognitive dissonance, thank you for listening and making it through the whole episode. Welcome to the Real Ones Club.
Mm-hmm.
Here's to ya. We got new episodes every Tuesday. That's right. # Tuesday Reviews Day. If you want to be a part of the fun, you could send us a review. And if you see a funny review, definitely send it to us, whether you want to be a part of the fun or not. We'd love to have it. reviewparty.com@gmail.com is a great way to get it to us. Include your name or a nickname so we can throw you credit for that.
If you want to reach out to us on social media, we are at reviewparty.com on Instagram and TikTok, at reviewpartypod on Twitter/X. And you can find our stuff on YouTube, and you can find reviews we've written on Letterboxd, and you can find our website, reviewparty.com. It's a place for all stuff review party and reviews and blue. Shop, blog, various secrets and goodies. Go there, check it out.
Check out Nosebleeds. One word. You saw that you didn't see him. I'd be amazed.
Maybe you did. Maybe you had some sort of horror vision.
Yeah.
I hope not, though.
Maybe you're like what's her name? Catwoman. The other Catwoman. Kravitz.
Oh, Zoe Kravitz.
Zoe Kravitz, yeah, she can like see sounds in her mind and shit like that. She like listens to music and sees colors or whatever. And if you got that going on, maybe you did see them. Anyway, Nosebleeds, you heard them throughout the episode. Bread for Breakfast was that song. If you want to hear more of their awesome jams, look them up at Spotify, YouTube. You know the places. Nosebleeds. Follow, subscribe, favorite, hit that button wherever you listen. Enjoy hitting the button, just like we enjoy when you hit it. And I got a review to send us out of here. This is a review from Amazon. It is for Hormel Black Label Fully Cooked Bacon Thick Bacon Snacks for Breakfast with 10.5 ounce pack of 1. It is by Judy. She titles it Bacon. She writes, "Can't live without this bacon. It is quick and perfect when microwaved. 5 stars."